Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commenter himself, and soon-to-be panelist on Saturday and Sunday, Zelius.
Sup?
That is a lot of lanyards, sir.
What? I got lanyards, Joe? Why do I have lanyards? What could these lanyards possibly be for, yo?
I don't know. Where can I get one?
I hear there's something going on this weekend in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It's this thing called MomoCon.
Mm-hmm.
Spelled M-O-M-O-C-O-N, I think.
Yep.
And it's a convention about anime and games and other things, great dork and nerdiness.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ultra Confusion team, Charlie, is going to be there for like 8,000 hours. To a lesser extent, myself, Zelius, and our cohort in arms, Jesse, will also be there.
Absolutely.
Lending us a firm hand in epic awesomeness.
Mm-hmm.
And we will have a fan table set up, I hear, near the exhibitors hall. And we will have lanyards to give away. We have more lanyards. I'd wear them all, but it would probably snap my neck.
Probably.
Because there's so many.
So here's the deal. Just for everyone who's going out to MomoCon. If you're in the Atlanta area, you need to go.
You need to.
Single day passes are $25. I think the whole week is like $60 or something. Anyways, it's already started. It started today, Thursday.
Which I forgot it was Thursday until Mr.
You can
Charlie
pick up
told me.
one of these.
But you won't get the purple swag.
No, you won't get this purple thing, and then I get an additional. Ultra Confusion will get an additional one as well. So here's the deal. If you're going to MomoCon, which I highly recommend that you do, there's a vendor hall, and there's the artist alley, and then there's the fan table space. And they're literally in one humongous area that gets locked at night, which is awesome. But at the same time, it gets a little crazy. So basically what you need to do is, I believe if you go down the second vendor aisle, you go all the way through, and then boom, there's our table right
Damn!
there. And of course, one row over from us is the artist alley. So if you accidentally end up in the artist alley, just look. If you're coming from the vendors and you're looking at the artist, look to your left, and there we are. We'll have a banner.
A banner? We have
Yes.
a banner?
Indeed.
I think we should show off the banner.
We're getting professional.
I think we should show it off.
No. It's a surprise.
Oh. But there's some
Surprise.
people who live far away. We've already given away the surprise that we have a banner, yo.
Okay, so here's the deal. Well, they don't know what's on the banner. Okay, so here's the deal.
Is there anime on it?
No.
Like little,
No.
characters?
No.
Little Pokemons?
No. So it starts on. Of course,
Today.
it already started. It reopens up at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. I will be there bright and early to set up the table, so we'll have all the rocking awesomeness there.
He's crazy.
Okay, so let's get into some news.
There's news besides MomoCon.
Absolutely. Well, besides the fact that we're going to be there's going to be a panel at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and also 11 a.m. on Sunday, brought to you by Ultra Confusion.
But of a very important nature. So we have our panel at 8 o'clock about the destruction of the game industry as we know it.
Yep.
But what goes on later on the evening of Saturday? There's something else going on.
There's an
after-
epic concert
Epic
that will
concert.
blow your mind called Proto Man.
Mine has already been blown. And what
Indeed.
time does it start at?
Okay, so the concert starts at 9, but there's an opening band.
Excellent.
Mhm.
So we'll still rock out
Indeed.
to the program.
Indeed. Okay, so let's talk about some other game news. I know that everyone wants to talk about MomoCon, and we can bring it back. Maybe I'll tell you a little bit about the panel I was on today, which was awesome. And I was also by far the noob on that panel because the writer... Okay, so I was writing for video games, which was an awesome panel. I recorded it. The unfortunate thing is I cut off the moderator
A what?
on the video.
Oh. Huh?
So it looks like
Oh.
there's only 4 people sitting at the table when there's supposed to be 5. So,
Nice.
and I've already apologized to the guy, and he's a really good sport. So,
Right on.
so we'll edit that. Of course, I never edited last week's Thursday Night Hangout, so that's also due to come up soon.
So you
So,
just like in a
I'm not going to
Photoshop-
sleep tonight.
Just Photoshop in the head of the moderator when he speaks.
Yeah. I'm not going to sleep tonight. That's really what it boils down to. So let's talk about some other news that is happening right now. First off, a story that actually Zelius picked up on first. This crazy game called Hatred that was causing all kinds of crazy scariness and craziness and
Controversy.
Controversy. That's the word I'm looking for. And of course, it was once upon a time a Steam Greenlight game, and it's now moved off of Steam Greenlight. It's been greenlighted, and it's about to come out June 1st.
Okay.
Now, the controversy continues to go. Hatred is a very graphic game, though it's from what I see of the actual gameplay. Yes, it is very graphic, but it wouldn't. It's still like a 3/4 kind of almost top-down view. You're not. It's not a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter.
Okay.
From what I've seen, now I could be totally wrong. Maybe I don't know what they're showing them.
Yep.
But okay, so it's going to be available on Steam. It's also going to be available on a system called Desura. I think that's a lot. A lot of indies also use that system.
Oh, never heard.
GOG, Good Old Games,
Yep.
which I guess are going by GOG now.
Worst name ever.
They will not be distributing it because of the AO ranking. But here's the funny thing: they in their trailers they show an AO rating, but if you go to the ESRB, that game doesn't exist on the ESRB.org.
How does that happen?
I don't know. So I'm wondering if the developers like self-imposed an AO rating upon themselves.
Interesting. Well, as far as the controversy goes, the way I look at it is, I mean, GOG, I'll never call it GOG because that's just a terrible name.
Mm-hmm.
You know, GOG, it's their own decision as a business. You know, they can carry whatever game they want.
Mm-hmm.
If that's their policy, I would be interested to also see, without having a chance to look into it, if they're also consistent with this policy.
Right.
I mean, if they don't carry AO games, and they're just like, hey, we don't carry those kind of games, I'm like, oh, well, you know, that's their choice.
Well, GOG or GOG, whatever the hell you want to call it, they did come out and they talked to the developer, basically said, look, here's the deal. We played the game. It's an interesting game. There's no way we can distribute it. So there you go. Now here's some really cool news. Just to switch gears to make it more of a happy note. Zelius and I got the privilege of interviewing two phenomenal individuals that are the co-founders of a company called Rogue Rocket Games.
Indeed.
They created a game called Gunpowder. Of course, they're creating a bunch of other games.
Kaboom!
But here is the awesomeness. Now, I know that a lot of people are like, well, shit, I want to play Gunpowder, but I don't have an iPad.
Oh, no!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now coming to Steam.
Woo woo!
But they need your help. They're going through the green light process right now, so you need to go over to Steam, go to the green light section, type in Gunpowder, all one word, and then upvote that so a bad boy goes to PC, because you need it. It will feel amazing on the PC, because literally it's point click. I mean, it really is point click, so the transition will be, I would assume, flawless.
As far as when you look at, you know, like green light games, as far as how well they're made and their polish, it's probably going to be pretty well up there in terms of the polish of games that are on the Steam Greenlight.
Right.
So I think that'd be pretty sweet in terms of like a game you'll actually be able to play someday versus who knows what kind of turd it might turn out.
Right. Hello, Akubo.
Akubo. Hello.
Hello. So yeah, go over to Steam Greenlight right now. Not right now. So, well, hell, you could open up a new browser. And
Multitask.
And vote up for Gunpowder because you know you want it. I mean, come on.
It's a great game.
It's a solid game. It's got over 205 levels, and they're good. And
How many levels did you get through?
78. We're not going to talk about that.
That's puzzlers. They get hard. That's what happens.
So let's talk about an interesting topic that seems to have people on one side of the fence and people on the other side of the fence. And that is Riot Games' decision to put an automated system into place that is now basically monitoring reports of players, and then basically like what the U.S. government does when they tap your phone and they look for the words of a bomb, assassination, nuclear war, all that stuff, and of course, you know, you could put it on a hot list. What this automated system is going to do is it's going to go through your chat logs and look for harassment, sexist, bigotry, all those type of remarks, and if it's deemed that you have indeed been that type of douchebag player, you could receive, bare minimum, a 2-week ban.
See, I read also something different, though, that this has kind of been an idea for a while, because what they're basing off of is, obviously, there's a reporting system. And this, magic algorithm that they're using in the back end is already being used by this reporting system.
Yes.
It's been escalated to some, customer service representative, whatever you want to call it. And now, they have some kind of baseline. Like, okay, we can look, from our learning software, we know that, these people saying these words or phrases are legitimate asshats versus somebody who's just reporting to be a jackass. So basically, they have enough historical data where when people report, it's much more accurate than just say, well, we're going to ban people if they say gay, fag, and all these other bad words. But they've been learning these ideas for a long time instead of just cobbling something together.
Right. This system's basically been learning for quite a while now. It's now finally in use. And, there's quite a few players out there going, oh my God, my stuff could be taken out of context. Well, okay, here's the thing. If you use words like that in the chat, because I don't know, I'm not sure how it would work over TeamSpeak. Because I'm assuming LOL's got TeamSpeak.
I'm guessing, if it's anything like Smite, basically it doesn't do jack shit. Because, TeamSpeak or whatever your voice chat of Poison is it's a separate...
Curse talk.
Yeah, Curse Gaming. That's what's integrated into Smite.
Yeah.
Where it's technically a separate platform, so the developer doesn't take any... They don't care what happens in there because it's technically separate. Versus, and it's also optional.
Right, well, yeah.
You don't have to join in, whereas people, being asshats in the chat, well, it's right there in your face. You really can't miss it.
Right. The thing to take into consideration is if you are going to type out things that you think could be taken the wrong way, perhaps you should just stick to typing stuff out.
Well, there's another way to look at it, too, though. If you look at it from the other side, is some guildmates probably say things that we would find, terrible, but they say it in a very friendly manner to their teammates. It's... To them, it's good-natured smack talk to each other. So I could see where, teammates, they're going to call each other out, but it's not actually derogatory towards that person because that's just how they naturally talk to each other, and they know this.
But okay, but here's the thing, though. If I'm not saying, you can use whatever kind of hate language you want to among friends, but in that situation, they're probably not going to be reported. So they'll have that record, but they're not going to be reported. Therefore, the system wouldn't pick it up. It's not like the system's going, no, there's one.
You said a bad word, you're fine.
Okay, we're putting you on a report card.
It's not going to be like Demolition Man, where you say a bad word and you get like a little fine that comes out of a toilet dispenser.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the concept of game jam? Of like a game jam, like a global game jam, where you have several different teams that come together and create a game within 48 hours, and then the winner gets a prize and perhaps can be shown off at the next big convention. That kind of game jam.
Haven't you been to that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been because I'm not a developer or artist or any of the above.
I was media. I mean, I basically just videotaped it. Look. Here's the thing. When you can get a bunch of like-minded individuals into the same room, and then basically break it up however you want to do it. And at the end, here's the deal. In a game jam, it's supposed... You're going to be creative. Sometimes you get a theme. The last game jam I went to was a CDC-funded one. So it was all about trying to find a way to, I guess, like gamify and educate individuals about certain diseases and all that stuff. But the thing is, it's amazing how unique individuals can be when they create and craft that thing, and to put it in a 48-hour lump of time is crazy. And you're not going to see these amazing polished games, but you're going to see you potentially see these amazing ideas. A lot of them actually continue after the game jam because everyone had so much fun. Hopefully at a slower pace, because if you continue to try to pull 48 hours straight things, you're probably going to run yourself into the ground. But I love game jams. I love any chance for collaboration to just shoot the shit, come bounce a couple ideas around and see if anything sticks, and then if it does, shit, that's how two of the games that I made in school were made, and that's really how the pencil and paper RPG that we've made, that we've done many iterations of, has come into being. Is collaboration with a group of individuals. I'm totally for game jams. I got no problem with it.
I've never been to one. Sounds like a pretty rad thing.
No.
It seems like something I could see being actually taking place at a convention like a MomoCon or PAX or any of the above.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you already obviously have gamers there. People who are interested in the industry. They hey, guys, come together. Let's make a game jam because people are going to be there. So I can see something like that definitely working out.
Yeah,
very captive audience.
Jedi J. I love game jams. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. So yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so real quick, to switch gears back to the League of Legends thing. Look, this is basically a glimpse into the future, and
It's Minority Report. It's coming, man.
It's coming. I mean Skynet is coming, dude. I mean, let's be honest. T2000s are going to show up out of nowhere, virtual, time rifts and all that stuff.
Well, obviously, Riot will be, I would think, also, especially to start off with, it's not like they're just going to let the gates go without, taking a look and seeing, like, okay, what are our bots actually doing?
Right, absolutely.
I'm guessing they're still going to have somebody, people in the background going back and verifying, like, okay, is this actually being accurate? And what do we do to tweak it? So it's not like it's just going to be a free-for-all Skynet upon us.
Right. I mean, I don't think that you're going to have, if you have someone that basically checks on every single decision, then you're probably defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
But if you do spot checks just to make sure that that it is basically staying on point, then the fact of the matter is that unless you do something egregiously awful. Chances are, you get a little bit of a timeout, 2 weeks, which is detrimental to certain people.
Especially if you're in a ladder league or something, yeah.
But unless you do something detrimental, you get like, it is, have you heard of verdicts?
Omni?
Nope, sorry.
Okay, I have no idea what that is.
I'm going to be honest, I have not. But anyways, the system could potentially permaban you for LOL.
It sounds like a Linux kernel that was a derivative of Ubuntu. I'm just making shit up now.
Oh man, now we're going.
There you go. I have no idea.
Oh shit! Oh my god.
Did it just come to you?
No. I had something. I haven't written it up yet. Oh, so there was a game that if you were watching my Extra Life feed, you may have watched me play this game a little bit called Sproggywood.
Yeah.
Sproggywood is coming out to the iOS and Android device.
That looks like a fun game.
Which, to be honest with you, once again, perfect fit because it is a turn-based. It is that typical grid turn-based feel to it. You move, and if you don't move, nothing else moves in the level. Now, of course, when you move, certain enemies could move faster. But I loved it. I mean, it was a really fun game. I had no problem.
So is this a game you think that'll work well? Like, say, on my little iPhone here, will this be a game that will adapt well to my iPhone?
It depends on how far the field is and how the ability to basically pan around. If they've got that if they got that locked down, then yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So Sproggywood is coming.
I don't think I remember that. I know that you played it, but I don't remember what you did because, well, that was a long night. Longer for you than me.
Yes.
I'm not quite as hardcore as some people. Not gonna name names, but
I will look up this Vertex Omni. Oh, there it is.
That didn't take long.
Hold on.
Oh, that works better. The ultimate immersive experience.
Step into the next generation of gaming. The Vertex Omni is a first-of-its-kind virtual reality system. Oh, another virtual reality
It sounds
system.
like the holodeck. Oh! It looks like the holodeck. I wasn't kidding.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Whoa!
All right. So...
Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare.
Okay, this is
Jedi
definitely...
Knight, man.
Look, just be honest. Let's see if... Hold on. Maybe I can... Hold on one sec. Let's see if we can throw this up here real quick here. Screen region, I think. There it is. All right, so here's the Vertex Omni for those of you out there who are wondering what the Vertex Omni is. And I will move that up. Okay. So I'm going to be honest with you. This looks like exactly what oh man, what was I going to say? Damn it. It's another step in the right direction for gaming, I think. If you put a VR helmet on there and then you're able to literally walk around. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, well, screw this shit. I don't want to walk. I want to just push buttons. And it's just, I mean,
but I got to stand.
Yeah. I mean, look. It's for those individuals who actually want a more immersive experience. I like it. I'll definitely have to do a little bit more research, but I like the look of it. Not gonna lie, it looks cool. It would definitely be something that if I were to play. Okay, once again, my brain, every single time I think about ways to get more immersive, and I think VR and I think MMO experience, I immediately go back to Dot Hack the World.
Of course.
And you can use the Oculus Rift for it. Okay. Someone make a Dot Hack game, and I will find a way to buy all that shit, and I will probably
live in your basement. You'll just live in your basement until you finish.
And to be honest with you, this is actually another step in the direction of the book that I always bring up from time to time, Ready Player One. I mean, you're continuing to take steps into it where you're becoming more and more
immersed.
More immersed, and the question is, what is how fast is the response time? Jedi J is saying that there are videos for it. I will definitely check it out and see.
All I know is that one, it looks pretty expensive, though. I'm not just putting that along here.
Oh, I'm sure it is. The fact of the matter is, it would probably be, a close to original version. So it's going to be, it's going to be expensive. Everything on its first iteration or 2 or 3, the price stays pretty high, and then it starts to drop a little bit, unless, of course, you're Apple. If you're Apple, then you try to keep the price constant, and if you are, would you shush?
Sorry.
Tell her to be quiet.
I have not told her that.
Or if you're Disney, you just continuously lock movies into the vault so that you can keep the value.
So what you're saying is, if Facebook wanted to make some money off the Oculus Rift, we release it for 5 years and put it in the vault for 20. I like it.
No, it's not going to happen. Though, speaking of the Oculus Rift, there have reports have come out and basically said to have an Oculus Rift with okay, so the thing is about $700.
That's actually, I'm gonna be honest,
not bad.
With that big setup with the base and the shit going around waist, I was expecting about $1,000 or more.
Yeah,
that was gonna be my first guess.
For a PC that's basically ready for the Oculus Rift, you're looking at about $1,500.
Yeah, first adoption. I mean, that's what it is.
Now, of course, remember, for everyone out there who's like, well, I don't really like the Oculus Rift, there are a ton of other VR helmets that are coming out.
You won't have to have a VR in your Facebook for everything you do.
Now, the question I have, and this is always, when you have optional third-party peripherals, is the compatibility of... Basically, we'll do VR helmets. The compatibility of one VR helmet versus another in a AAA title.
Well, especially because some will have slightly different dimensions, or the resolutions, I should say. Some are doing the different, because there's different types of VR technology that you can use to make it seem like you're in your environment. I don't know all the right tech terms, but there's different ways of doing VR.
Well, right. I mean, we've got...
special shoes.
So here's that is the problem, because I have fucking boats for feet.
And I have the opposite issue.
I know.
I have teeny tiny feet.
He's got petite feet. I've got monster ginormous like clown feet.
So like literally, like add ours, divide by 2, and be perfect.
Perfect shoe. But okay, so yeah, you're right. When it comes down to VR helmets, there are different resolutions, there are different ways of the processing, and then of course, if you just look at the Oculus Rift versus the new one, which I think is called the FOVE, FOVE. FOVE is all about eye tracking.
Yep.
That's how they do VR. So how does that translate? Is there like a middleman system that's able to.
So it'll be like made for Oculus Rift or made for Fove.
But if they do that,
Could it be like, okay, you know how like back in the day, up to about 7 years ago, you had PowerPC for Apple, and then you had Intel for Windows. And that's the reason in the past where we can never do, boot camp or virtualization or Hackintosh.
Right.
Because it's just two completely different hardware architectures basically doing the same thing. Are we going to run into the same thing with the VR, or is it going to be like now where both run Intel processors and you can mostly do both on either type of hardware?
That's a good question. I don't know, and I think time will tell with that.
That's where I'll be interested. I think as consumers, we're hoping for the current status where you can do either or.
Right.
Kind of like graphics cards, where you got ATI and then you got NVIDIA, where it's made for ATI, but guess what? It still works with NVIDIA just fine.
Yeah. Jedi J just pointed out that there are different shoe sizes. We know.
Yeah.
We're
just joking.
Yeah.
Kind of seriously, because I really do have small feet, and he has clown feet, so there is that issue.
Yeah. I wear like a 14, so
you have to pay extra to get the extra large.
I'll have to pay extra just to get the extra room because my feet will basically drape over. Basically, and anything and everything.
Okay, so how long until the first lawsuit that somebody is so large that they can't fit into that device?
Right. I mean, with that, okay. So let's go there. This Vertex Omni. I like it, but I think that we'll need to do a lot more research on it. But just looking at it without having researched it, a couple of issues that I immediately see is. I think the smaller your shoe size, probably the better you are. When you have humongous feet, you probably will not be able to get as accurate a movement. And also, it deals with the size of the individual. I'm assuming because the look of it looked like it had like a hoop around your waist.
Yep.
So if you're like a 7 foot tall gentleman or lady, where the hell does that hoop go? Because I'm assuming that hoop probably holds you into place and maybe allows you to jump up and down and it basically registers as a jump. But if let's say that you pull the hoop to its maximum length, or maybe you're too big and that hoop can't go around.
Yep.
Well,
here's the hard part with devices like that is that, again, you go back to the first generation, the first adoption, is you go back to something like the first version of the Kinect. I kept on wanting to say the Natal. Is you go back to the first version.
Right.
Technically, yeah, it was not always very good at tracking.
Right.
And it's got much better with, subsequent versions.
Yep.
But at least with the Kinect, you're talking, $150 for replace it, $100, whatever.
Right.
Versus $700 for a device to get the next better version.
Right.
So they're also talking more money, which, again, that's the cost of first adoption with VR. So people will buy it. It's going to be obviously a tough sell for most people. It also looks like you need a pretty good size space for it too. Like, could you imagine trying to convince your wife? So, honey, we need to put this in the living room because I got to play my virtual reality game in the living room.
Try to put that in a New York City apartment.
That would be your apartment. Like, you're going to live in your damn virtual reality world. That's where you're living now.
Which, once again, Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Seriously, go. Once this video is over, multitask. Go over to Amazon, type in Ready Player One. It's an amazing book. You need to read it.
It's on my next book to read.
Good.
It's there.
Good.
It's sitting next to the Mist of Avalon, which I know is totally not the same type of books at all, but that's okay. I know. I'm a sellout.
No.
Well.
All right. So, shit. I had it.
We want virtual reality to work. Damn it. Well.
What's going to end up happening is, in my perfect world, is I think that I'm going to have a room that I could walk into that basically has all different types of things on the floor, that like a treadmill type thing that keeps you in the middle. But of course, once again, a ton of money probably never happened.
And room and space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. Guess we'll see.
Yes, we will see.
But I do remember doing the VR helmet at Dave & Buster's 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, totally different. Way many, many years ago. A lot less polygons.
Yeah. Do you know Nintendo is trying to Reboot the Power Glove. Nice.
That'd be actually my favorite thing. My favorite peripheral was the pad thing, the game pad,
The trackpad.
the trackpad. Because you do is you play the Olympics game. I remember we'd always do the sprint and long jump game because you'd be like with your hands though. You could never actually use your feet to actually play the games because that'd be fair. So you'd use like your hands to try to beat the games to beat like the Olympics.
Look,
and then long jump, you'd be like,
no,
that was funny.
No, I've got no problem with them rebooting the Power Glove. Although, to be honest with you, I think Nintendo is basically at the end of its lifespan when it comes to consoles. So I don't know what they'll do with the.
You don't think they're gonna make one last big?
No.
push?
They're gonna be one more iteration after the Wii U.
I think I think are the company to go all in for the VR. I mean, they're the ones who got the whole motion sensor going in the first place.
And yet you haven't heard them do any of that. Sony was basically the first console manufacturer to say, "Oh, we're doing the Morpheus."
That scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. I will.
I don't think you'll be buying. I'm sure you'll be buying that one. It'll be the first. You're probably on the pre-order list. I know it.
Dear God, no. No. But okay, so here's the deal: Power Glove could have been an amazing device.
It just looks so bad.
There was only a couple problems. One, it was rushed out. Two, the technology was nowhere near where it needed to be to make the Power Glove as awesome as possible.
But by the way, there's an awesome. It's a video game cover like hard thrash, hardcore heavy metal band called Power Glove. They're awesome. I don't know if it came into me at PAX.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just hardcore metal to the max, and it just covers the video games. Awesome. That's what I think when I think of Power Glove, along with obviously the Nintendo thing. That felt like you're in a video game. But I've not heard anything about it. But in a way, though, if you think about the functionality of what the Power Glove was intended for, like it's all like what it's supposed to do is already almost kind of usurped by what they're already doing.
Right.
Like it seems like okay, that's a curious choice because they're already basically covering the Power Glove's functionality with what they already have out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what to me, thinking about the Power Glove's functionality, like that's what I don't quite get about why they'd want to even do it.
Look, Nintendo's doing a lot of stuff right now. I mean, if they're indeed rebooting the Power Glove, let's just add it to the laundry list of things they're doing. As most of you know, they have basically written the okay for a company called DNA from Japan, I believe, to start porting some of their first-party games over to the mobile platform. I'm not exactly sure what mobile platform, or it's going to be all mobile platforms or whatever, but I'll be very interested to see it. Now, of course, they're rumored to have their first game out in August, but they said that they're going to take their time because they want to make sure that it's not some shitty port that just goes, that sucks balls.
Yeah.
So they're going to take their time. But, Nintendo opening up and saying that they're going to put it on the mobile platform, that, to me, raised a red flag about the future of their 3DS.
They could also milk that for a long time. If they do it right. If they do it right, they can milk their backlog. Well, I think dedicated mobile gaming devices are dead.
Once Pokemon goes across, yes, I know there's Pokemon clones to wazoo out there, but once Pokemon becomes available on like any mobile device, then the Nintendo handheld is absolutely 100% dead. And to be honest with you, Nintendo was the only one to begin with who actually made a successful device. Yes, the Game Gear. Game Gear was way ahead of its time. The unfortunate thing was that it drained 6 batteries like that.
If only the batteries had lasted. Because it was pretty fun. I remember playing Ninja Gaiden. That was hard.
Defenders of the Oasis. That was my game that I played a lot of.
It was a pretty sweet tablet. Well, not tablet, obviously, but gaming device.
And Sonic Pinball? Yeah. That was a lot of fun. But really, I mean, Nintendo's the only one who really did. Now, of course, the other thing about Nintendo, which is showing that they've really opened up their borders, is the fact that they have signed a deal with Universal Studios to add Nintendo to their at least one of their theme parks, maybe both of them or all of them. and they're going to basically give it like Harry Potter treatment.
Or if you don't play some kind of Mario Kart, it's just a waste.
You and your Mario Kart.
Something better than just bumper cars. It's got to be more than just bumper cars. I don't know what, but something.
We had this discussion before, where you get into your cart, and it has force feedback in it.
Yep.
And you can do the, like shells and.
Well,
and
there's
bananas
ideas,
to-
but that's why it's got to be something more than just bumper
Right.
cars.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what,
yeah.
we're on that page at least.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Something.
Absolutely.
Something interesting. Don't sell out. Well, they're already selling out, but don't make it easy. Put it that way. But if what they did with Hogwarts is any indication, it should be pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody's like, dude, Hogwarts is the best thing ever.
Yeah,
Even though I've never been.
Yeah, I need to go too.
Well, you have a kid, you're allowed to go.
Kids too young.
This is true. That's why I've never been. Because my nephews they also are too young. Which is great.
Man, my brain. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. My brain is in like 5 different places because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to set up the fan table, start to piece together the panels, also find my way over to an amazing artist named Jackie Lewis, so I can buy one of her special edition books.
Nice.
There was another game thing I wanted to bring up. Okay. I'm actually, you know what? Okay, let me. I don't know where I was going.
You sounded like you had a way that you were going.
I know. I was like
you rewounded and you found it, and then you stopped rewinding halfway through. That's very disappointing.
Yes, it is. It's quite disappointing. I know what I'm getting for my birthday. I'm getting The Witcher 3.
There you go.
For the Xbox One.
Are you getting that for yourself, from yourself?
No, wife's getting it for me.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
I wish I had gaming news, but I've been cut off now from the internet for the last week, and I've been moving. So I have no idea what's going on in the world.
I have a ton of games, and I apologize to all those developers out there going, where the hell is the game review? Last week was Memorial Weekend, and so I was nowhere near my computer, and then this week is MomoCon, so I will be nowhere near a computer because I will be chit-chatting and showing off the Ouya and maybe some other stuff.
Very nice.
Man, I really felt like I had another game thing to bring up.
I'm sure you did. There's always something else.
Oh, man. If you go to MomoCon, there is a game. It is a fighting game called Brawlhalla. You definitely need to check out. It's by, I believe, Blue Mammoth Games, which is actually a local Atlanta company. Have you seen the Uncharted 4 trailer? Okay, seriously, okay. The Uncharted series is phenomenal. It's amazing, and if there was a couple things that could get me to buy a PlayStation 4, which I vowed not to do because Sony is Sony. But man, I want Uncharted. They've done Uncharted so well.
Okay, what if they did the double combo? Uncharted 4 and Heavy Rain 2. Would you be?
Here's my wallet.
There you go. That's your kryptonite.
Now, okay, I want Heavy Rain. I don't want. Oh God, what was that other game? What's the other one that the studio did? Fractured Souls. No. Damn, we have to look it up now.
I don't know. Can't help you. Haven't played it. Haven't seen it.
Hold on.
You're thinking. He's gonna run away and see if he can find it. He's opening up the secret door. I don't know what's in the secret door. It looks scary back there.
Not that one. Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls. Not nearly as good.
I don't know. God, no. But Beyond Two Souls was such a disappointment. Oh, man.
Of course. Well, PS4 should have awesome graphics. That's why I hope you're getting a next-gen console.
But okay, so you have awesome graphics, but at the same time, as was brought up last week with the Witcher 3, it's the PC version is highly superior to the console version because they dumbed down the graphics.
But we know that's not an issue because Uncharted 4 isn't that a PlayStation exclusive?
Yeah.
So that's not really an issue with the PS4.
Right.
I mean, what you see is the awesome graphics. They're gonna stay awesome. because they don't have to dumb it down for another device.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, phenomenal graphics, great gameplay. What's there not to like? You?
They're probably going to force multiplayer on you. Look, here's the deal. I'm totally
play multiplayer.
I'm totally okay with multiplayer that makes sense. But when you have an Uncharted, a Tomb Raider, Mass Effect, where all of a sudden you go, oh yeah, by the way, we want to get more people to play this game, so let's do multiplayer. I mean, I understand from a financial point, maybe, but at the same time, it has nothing to do with the game.
So does there come a point where graphics become too realistic and it's like no longer a video game? Like, do you still want that point where it's obviously
photorealistic?
Yeah, like, do not want photorealistic games. Is that a place where we want to be with our video games, where it's like I'm playing this is real life, or do we want that? I don't know.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think photorealism. I don't. I think you want some abstractness. You want some little bit that's not photorealistic because when you are interacting and you're shooting people, and it's really realistic, that could. I mean, I'm not saying that gamers are going to be like, well, because it looked really real, I'm going to now shoot people. No.
Damn it, Jack Thompson, step down.
Yeah. Look, Call of Duty is probably going to be the game that does it the best.
Yeah.
And the football game, which shall not be named, will get the players probably close, but the fans will still be these like two-dimensional
cardboard cutouts.
Yeah. But I think the closer you get to photorealism, the more your mind can interpret what you're seeing and the deeper you potentially could go. I think there's a lot more aspects that you have to think about. But photorealism would definitely be a huge step in the right direction. And to be honest with you, I want things to look absolutely real, but I want it to be in like a sci-fi setting. I want some element of fantasy, something that pulls away from reality.
Okay.
So I want, the best graphics to make it look like the aliens could actually, kick down my door and start, throwing plasma grenades. But the chances of that happening are slim to nil. So I have that ability to, kind of separate myself away from reality. I don't want something that's too realistic.
So like Aliens, basically, but the video game, but that looks realistic.
Yes.
Okay. But what if aliens are real? Then isn't it the same issue?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
People believe aliens are here, so you could be disturbing many, many people.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Maybe we've already met aliens and you just don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's one sitting next to you. You never know.
Could be the silence, man.
Nope, I'm good.
Oh shit, there is one. Nope, never mind.
That was just a pin mark from something else. I need to go back and watch it.
The silence, for those of you who don't know, is a reference to the TV show Doctor Who.
It's a great arc about Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. You don't want to see much more because you don't want to give away what it is because it's fun to watch. It's one of those things like with Doctor Who, kind of like with video games. Is there certain parts of the Doctor Who universe and watching the shows, you're like, man, this episode's kind of lame. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just not interesting. They didn't put much, thought into it. Mm-hmm. Then you get to other original ideas where it's like, holy crap, this is, like, whoever came up with this, they're the man or woman as far as it goes. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes it interesting. And that's why it's always kind of that, one more turn syndrome in civilization. And TV shows like, Doctor Who, it's like, okay, one more episode. Let's see what other cool, fun thing they can come up with.
Yep.
And I'm still waiting for the next season to come out on Netflix, which could be a while.
I'm up to date.
Yeah, I don't even think I get BBC America. Maybe I do. I don't know.
If you do, it would be channel 755. No, 56. 756.
I have no idea. I'll have
Well,
to
that's
look.
going to be your channel.
Wow.
If you have it, it's 756. If you don't have it, then you don't have
If Comcast ever shows up to get my internet hooked up.
it. Hooray, cable!
I'm gonna drink some more.
Man, my brain. Okay, so here's some of the games that Alter Confusion is. Sorry, let's be honest. Here's some of the games that I'm going to be reviewing, or have just finished, and will be writing up the review very shortly. Guns, Gore, and Cannoli.
Which I know you approve of.
Yes, I do, very much so. Go get it on Steam right now. You don't even have to wait for the review. I promise. If you like
Cannoli.
side-scrolling platformer game with like a mafia zombie esque type of game with a pretty good storyline, you're gonna like it. And of course, you can play up. You can also have a bunch of your buddies join in. I believe you can co-op up to 4 players to really have some true mayhem. You have a ton of weapons at your disposal. Some of them are quite entertaining. And the thing about, okay, so here's my issue with a lot of games. When you have waves of enemies, there's that feeling of they literally just said, aha, here's alien hybrid A, and let's make 13 of them, and then boom, come at you. This one, yes, when you go to certain things, there are like a lot of, I don't know, sewer rats or mafia individuals or military people, but but they have enough variety. Like even the smallest detail, like they could be using a different gun, something that breaks up the monotony, so that you feel like, okay, I'm not killing 37 clones.
And that's one of the things that, we'll get back to that question, but that's one thing that drove me nuts about Sailing Your Walls, gun slugs too.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's how I felt going through the levels. I just felt like it was the same endless wave of guys throwing bombing shit at me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the enemies were just so uninteresting, and that's part of where I got bored of the game. I was like, I just don't find this very engaging.
Jedi J asks, what do you think about how games might be priced at $70 opposed to $60?
Well, for the AAA titles, I'm not terribly surprised because production costs keep on going up.
Absolutely right.
Obviously, somewhere that pass is going to get passed along to the consumer. The consumers being us. Speaking for myself, it's been stated numerous times in the podcast, I'm a bargain bin shopper, and so and then I also don't own an Xphone or a PS4, which further limits my pool of $60 to $70 AAA titles to buy. Probably, I think the last two $60 games I've been totally burned on. I bought WildStar and Diablo 3, both were total letdowns. So yeah, $60 would already be a hard sell for me for a new game. If it was something I'm really interested in, $70 is creeping up there even more, and I think you're also, going to turn more people off to buying new games. But I also think that it's one of those things for the number of $70 games, because there's such a market for the indie world nowadays, where you don't have to buy those $70 games when they come out, because your only option isn't games that are on the wall at EB Games. Granted, that was a decade ago, but it's a new world.
I think what you're going to see is you are going to see the separation of market, where you have those AAA titles that are probably going to realistically go up to $70 because they have to cover all those costs, and then you're going to have like the indies. Now the thing that I would wonder is if they're going to be priced at $70 digital only. The fact of the matter is, I know that console owners still want to buy the game in the box and all that stuff, but let's be honest. For publishers, they want to do away with all of that shit. They just want to be able to throw their game onto whatever platform, don't have to pay any additional fees for manufacturing the disc, potential insurance for protection against the disc being faulty, which has happened several times. Uh, Shelf space. All these production costs where you could just put it on the system, and of course, automatic updates. Since now everything has to be online, which drives me nuts sometimes. Because look, if it's a single-player game, I should be able to play without an internet connection. I don't understand the reason why. The game's still good. Like, if I'm trying to do leaderboard stuff, then sure, check my thing. But if I'm just playing the freaking game, just let me play it whenever the hell I want to. Of course, once again, we're going more towards a service instead of a product.
Yep.
So, I mean...
Now, I wonder, especially, with going to $70, it's especially maybe, I could see that especially happening with, like, the VR technology. If you get a AAA title, like, say, EA or Ubisoft, doing that, because now all of a sudden, like, ooh, now it's a new technology to virtual reality, and it's also added production cost, hypothetically speaking, that they could proclaim at least.
Right.
Because now they're doing it for a new piece of hardware, and it's new testing, and it's new, and it's added bonus for the $70.
Right, but at the same time, there has to be a standardization of VR technology in order for that movement to take place. Because no one, unless... what the fuck is that damn thing called? The Ubisoft came out with like this drawing pad for the Wii, which they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna make a bunch of games around it.
Probably not so much.
But the thing is, that's Ubisoft is not Nintendo, so Nintendo has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So the issue is, if you're going to use a third-party peripheral and try to base a bunch of games around it, you gotta make damn sure that there's some kind of standardization that allows that other game manufacturers or publishers will take into consideration.
Yeah.
Because if it's only one company, it's not going to succeed. I'm going to be totally honest with you. One of the biggest issues with a lot of the VR devices today is that they are marketing exclusively for gaming. By doing that, you have a humongous market, and you basically shrunk it down to the size of a quarter.
So you do want your VR helmets in Facebook?
Yes, you want your VR helmets in Facebook. You want your VR helmets to have applications for disabled individuals. You want your VR helmets for any interaction that you could do. You want the VR helmet to pick it up. I don't know how you do it, but you basically have to. Your VR helmet needs to be able to multitask. It's got to go across multiple disciplines.
Isn't that what's also caused the PS4 and Xbox uptake to be slowed? Because they haven't been centralized as a gaming console, so there's less interest in them from the gamers, because it doesn't do any one thing great.
The gamer market is smaller than the average consumer market. The average consumer market goes, oh, I've got a box that allows me to play Blu-rays, watch my Netflix, watch my Hulu, and then from time to time, I can play Bejeweled.
I disagree, though, because I think for the normal non-gamer market, you look at an Expo, which is $350, or you can buy a Roku or Chromecast for $50. Then guess what? You can play Bejeweled on it, too.
But you can't play Blu-rays. Look,
yes, Blu-rays.
Here's the thing. When you're on the go, you want a device that can play movies, you can play music, you can play games, you can make phone calls, you can do all that stuff. You can check your email on a single device.
Yes.
We're looking for that in front of your TV. If there is a way to incorporate the cable box, if you have a cable box or your satellite dish into the console,
cable card.
Right, yeah, right, whatever, and be able to basically you want to minimize all of your interactions. If you've got a Roku and a Roku and a Blu-ray player and a cable box, that's three things. It takes up space. People don't like wires. Blah 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 blah. I mean, we're talking, you're talking about simplification, which of course, then again, once we talk about simplification, putting a VR helmet into the mix is just kind of like what? Mm-hmm. Though, if you have noticed, Hot Pocket has started to market.
Virtual reality Hot Pockets?
No. They're making mini Hot Pockets so you can, while people have got the virtual helmets on, you got to see the commercials.
Isn't that basically pizza rolls?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's Hot Pocket brand pizza rolls, man.
That's like a double whammy of indigestion and unhealthy college eating that I still abide by.
And they'll still figure out a way to make it liquid magma and ice cold center.
It's part of the beauty.
A Hot Pocket, Hot Pocket. A Hot Pocket stuffed in a Hot Pocket.
Fire and ice.
So, anyways, I went off a tangent. I apologize.
It happens in life.
But look, the fact of the matter is, I hope that games don't go to $70, but the price of creating a game is continuously increasing, and which is also another reason why the gaming consumers have been slow to pick up the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One is there are no games for it. Yes, everyone's like, oh, there's like, 20, 30, 40 games on it. How long have the systems been out?
Long, man. A long time in gaming
Look,
years.
if you were to look at the amount of library for the Xbox 360 versus the Xbox One at the same time, at the same life milestone, you would notice that the 360 had a shit ton of games compared to the Xbox One. And the fact of the matter is, it's more expensive. Companies don't want to take that big of a risk. And to be honest with you, Sony has already basically stated, if you want to put games on our system, you can put games on our system, but we don't give a shit. I mean, they sold their freaking first-party studio. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the 9 o'clock hour. And as much as we would love to continue to chatter on, we have some MomoCon preparations that have to be done. So
to prepare for you, the audience will be at MomoCon
yes.
tomorrow.
So
right?
if you are in the Atlanta area, come see us. We will have a table first thing in the morning tomorrow, and of course we'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with just a couple breaks for a couple panels that we will be.
Charlie will be there the whole time at least.
Right. Alter Confusion. The Alter Confusion table will be there the entire week.
Yes, except for 2 hours.
Right. Well,
while we're talking.
2 hours.
During our panels.
I might be gone for an additional hour. I might be pulled into the IGDA Atlanta panel.
Oh, nice.
But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zelia, it's been a pleasure to give you the crazy stuff coming out of our minds. And thank you to the audience for continuing to give us information as I try to trip through whatever the hell is going on in my brain. But until next time, it's been a pleasure. Come to MomoCon if you're in Atlanta. If not, tune in next Thursday for another exciting edition of the Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.